Hello, everyone. What is going on? My name is Timpedia. Welcome back to the TNT Podcast, episode
190 something,
90
right?
something. I think
We're close to 200, but we're not
200.
200.
Not in the calendar year 2024, but next year we'll hit it for sure. For sure.
Next year for sure.
Definitely not jinxing it. Definitely not jinxing it. We're back. We got stuff to talk about. Bunch of news actually, and not a ton of watched and played. Ooh, spicy. But who am I talking about this stuff with? On my right.
It's Friedman, also known as Andrew, but mostly known as Friedman.
And on my left.
Brandon Sanderson.
Oh, wow.
No
World
way.
famous author Brandon
The world
Sanderson.
famous
this-
author is here.
This is one of our 5 guest episodes we've ever done in the history of the podcast.
Yeah. Just kidding. It's someone way less cool, like abysmally cool.
Yeah, it's just
than
someone.
Tyler. Yeah, it's only Tyler. It's really sad. But I'm here anyway. This is what you get. You get what you pay for.
This is
right?
what you get what you pay for. But we didn't pay anything. All right, but we got a whole slew of news, some of which is just, and a lot of it's pretty quick, spicy little stories. But this one I wanted to bring up because this is hilarious. So, a Ubisoft leaker, insider guy, blogger, I don't know. Somebody reported that Ubisoft is leading the charge against Steam to stop letting people have third-party bots that track players across Steam.
Oh.
Because the launch of Star Wars Outlaws was pretty terrible.
Oh yeah.
They barely broke 2,400. They almost hit 2,500 maximum concurrent players.
Yikes.
And that's for the launch of a new Star Wars game, like tentpole game. And Ubisoft is crying, "Oh, but we want to present the data to our investors how we want to. Our investors got really unhappy that Star Wars Outlaws did so bad. We want to be able to pitch it how we want it."
Fuck, loser.
Absolutely agree.
Yeah.
So funny that they're such crybabies. I mean, Ubisoft seems like they're kind of like falling apart.
They got way bad press from everybody. Like their goodwill towards everybody is like pretty much.
Well,
screwed.
Assassin's Creed's been run into the ground. Star Wars Outlaws kind of just was another Ubisoft game. Far Cry was another Ubisoft game. Like, it feels like the last time Ubisoft innovated was Black Flag and Far Cry 3.
Yeah.
It's been a minute. And then there's the whole thing with like the Crew, where they shut down the Crew and they're now in the lawsuit because of them like taking the game literally unavailable. Like, you literally can't boot the game even in an offline state. So
Yeah.
Ubisoft is in hot water, but this is just so funny because it's like, no, this publicly available data, we don't like it. Stop. It's
This is kind of shitty. They're just like, the idea to hide reality so we can portray it differently to investors is mega shitty.
As an investor, wouldn't you want to be like, fuck you, I want to see the public
Yeah,
data and your data?
We want more transparency. If you're mad that you want to be untransparent and you're not allowed to, that should be a massive problem.
like,
and brought up on the investor call.
Yeah, why shouldn't any investor be like, so why are you trying to get rid of this data? Is it not skewing the right way? Like,
why are you not letting the public do your data gathering for you instead of paying your data analyst to come up with fake data?
Yeah, like the data analyst.
Like, as an investor, that's what I would say.
I feel like as an investor, I'd be like, so are you trying to say that when we get on an investing call, you're just going to be like, it performed slightly below expectations, but we expect a strong uptick when we release some DLC thing, and then you just never bring it up again? Like, is that probably what you wanted to be able to say in the future, and now you kind of can't? It's just funny to me. I just wanted to bring this up because it's another case of like, and Ubisoft, like, there's been talks for years of like them getting sold or like acquired. So
I'm surprised they haven't been by now.
It feels like we're heading towards a world where Ubisoft kind of just doesn't exist as its own independent entity anymore. Like, it's not its own.
They could do. They do have a break glass in case of game.
Oh.
But they're probably not going to do it. I mean, it's not going to be it might be a blockbuster. They could revive the Splinter Cell series.
Nah, wasn't there rumors of like a movie or like a movie getting canceled recently, or there was like
Was there?
Tom Hardy?
I don't
thought I saw
know.
some headline that like Tom Hardy was like attached to a Splinter Cell thing or something like that.
What?
Tyler, I think we are too far gone from Splinter Cell for people to give a shit.
Nah, man.
There
Nah,
was
I don't believe that. I don't
recently
believe
there
that.
was a new Prince of Persia 2D game that came out and was apparently quite good. Um
Oh,
and
there
it
is a thing about, I
and
guess, a Splinter Cell movie dying, I guess. But
yeah,
yeah.
and Ubisoft ripped the Prince of Persia team apart within like a week or two because they didn't like how the sales did. So,
Well, they also did, but that's the thing about Prince of Persia, though. They didn't even market that.
nope.
Like that was basically a silent release. So they did that to themselves. For not even that one, the one before that too. Like they never prominently advertised Prince of Persia,
Nope.
probably since the original trilogy,
Oh,
honestly.
I was gonna say since what's that edgy? What's the edgelord cover? Was that
Well,
Warrior Within or
there's
whatever?
Warrior Within, but no, Two Thrones. No, Two Thrones got a pretty good amount of
But then
it
weren't
actually
those?
had pretty decent reviews, and it had like good whatevers to it.
Why did I
Like
think that like one of those games wasn't that good or something like that?
people, I don't know. Like yeah, I don't know. I personally hated those games. I think they were garbage. Personally, like
Damn.
I was gonna play. So I never played Prince of Persia when I was a kid, like when it came out,
Me
and
neither.
I didn't play it until college because I saw it on sale and there was like a pack for PS3 where it had the trilogy. So I was like, yo, fuck it. I'll play these games. I played Prince of Persia 1. I was like, yo, I get why people like this game so much.
Yeah.
And it had everything, right? It had the Prince Ali shit going on, like that whole aesthetic. It was
Prince
great.
Ali.
And then like it had everything you could possibly expect, like from that kind of like aesthetic. And then you go like I go to boot up Warrior Within. I was ready. Like I was so ready. I didn't even wait. I just finished that game. I went to Warrior Within, and I'm like, man, I remember Godsmack being a part of the promotional, but I was like, this does not hit.
Oh no.
To me, like you could tell that God of War did so well. They're like, we need to make this more like God of War,
Oh yeah.
and that's exactly what
Yeah.
they tried doing.
I believe the phrase is
So
bum bum ba
whatever.
bum.
Oh.
Yeah, like so I don't know. Like I feel like they really did themselves a disservice for like the Prince of Persia stuff. The only franchise that they have left that has any like real big following. I mean, they still have Rainbow Six. Um, but they also have Splinter. I think Splinter Cell could come back in this new age of like people liking single player games with stories.
I think it should be able to. I don't think it will be able to.
That's upsetting because I really like I love like Blacklist was my favorite one next to Chaos Theory. And Blacklist was the last one to come out.
That's been a minute.
It's been yeah, and Blacklist came out in 2013. Yeah. So whatever. But speaking of like companies underperforming than like projected, I did want to put in this
Sure.
little bit. We talked about Dragon Age already on this podcast, but I wanted to just bring up the fact that Stalker 2 broke 1 million sales while Dragon Age is like just not. And I think it's interesting. I was actually talking about this with Michelle before coming on, just how interesting it is. Like I feel let me know what you guys think. Do you think Dragon Age would have sold better if people didn't already have reservations about buying the game? Like how much do you guys think like bad press or bad early ideas about something like affects the initial purchase of a game?
I don't know. I feel like I'm in a weird media spot because like I did not care about the Dragon Age franchise, and I saw the first trailer or like the first gameplay trailer that came out, and I looked and I'm like, wow, this looks fun. And then I went online and I saw everyone who loves Dragon Age like this looks like anus. So as someone who's not in the franchise, I didn't think negatively of it, but invested fans clearly didn't like it.
I
Which
think the biggest problem Dragon Age faces is that Dragon Age is literally has nothing, like is not a consistent series. They're like Mass Effect. You know what you're getting, right? You're getting a third-person shooter with some powers and some RPG stuff, right? Every Dragon Age has kind of played and acted differently from each other.
Yeah,
so
that's
so
true.
outside of the name and a few characters, there's very little cohesive identity for Dragon Age, and people just go, "Oh, Dragon Age, BioWare, yeah, that's that other series they made. It's not Mass Effect, but it's BioWare. It's not as old as KOTOR, and it's not Mass Effect, but it's still a BioWare series." Like, I think people just are burned out on BioWare. I think as a whole, the industry is kind of seeing that people really don't give a shit about a lot of established stuff. Like in certain cases, I think names.
I was gonna say in certain cases.
I think certain names mean a lot more, and certain names mean almost nothing. Like Ubisoft, going back to them, like they're banking everything on like Assassin's Creed Shadows or whatever it's called. I don't even remember the Japanese one. Like Ghost of Tsushima ate that thing's lunch like what 2-3 years ago when that game came out.
Bruh.
Like when Tyler, I will tell you, when I finally get a new controller, which I probably will sometime this holiday season, I'm pretty likely to buy Ghost of Tsushima on PC and finally play that game. I'm kind of itching.
What do I gotta do, man? Do I gotta loan you my DualSense?
So it was on sale for $20 on Steam during the autumn sale.
Is it already? Wait. Is it already over? Oh no.
No, it's not.
No.
Wait,
the problem is
$20. No, it's not. It's
no, it's 20% off.
Oh,
Did I
okay.
say $20
You
off?
said
I said
20%. No, you said it was $20, and I'm like,
whoa.
whoa.
No, it's 20%. It's 20% off.
$45.
But I was like, I don't know. I've got a lot of games to get through. It might go on sale for more by the time I actually have time to play it.
So the
I didn't
reason
buy it.
I might do it is because I realized I was kind of itching for a almost Dark Soulsy like melee combat experience. Is why I wanted to get a controller again, or Shadow of War, even like that open worldy kind of thing. And I've really been like, man, I don't want to play Sekiro, but Ghost of Tsushima is supposed to be a really good video game.
Yo, Ghost of Tsushima's a banger, bro.
Yeah, maybe I'll buy Ghost of Tsushima.
Space Marine
myself.
2 is also 20% off.
Yo, Space Marine 2.
Am I buying $90 of video games right after this podcast just to buy those two games and have them?
Hell yeah, brother.
No. Tyler, weren't we supposed to play Halo?
Yeah, well, we have 3 weeks to play Halo. Guess what? Call of Duty might as well already be a fucking dead game on my server, so...
No.
I already called it.
Tyler, not gonna lie, kind of Pikachu face. Like, I'm not really surprised by this.
I know that. I called it, so I'm like, whatever. And I'm like, yo, it's a dead game. They're like, no, it's not a dead game. We're playing now. It's like, yo, you guys haven't touched this game in 2 weeks. How do I know? I've been on almost every day. Like...
Anyway, going back to the original topic. Wow, Civ 6 is $6. It's 90% off.
$6? Ooh, maybe I should get that.
No, Blake Freeman, join me and Alvin and Ed. Go back to Civ 4. Civ 4 is so good.
Do I own any of the civilizations and just haven't played them yet?
How much is Civ 4 right now? Can I even search for Civilization 4? 4.
Listen. We're supposed to
talk Beyond the Sword is $2.50.
Listen, we're talking about the Steam sale right now.
Yo, all right.
I have put.
We can talk about
No. I just wanted to say I have 272 hours of Civ 4 Beyond the Sword on my Steam account, and it's $2.75 right now. So yeah, I think the problem
in a long time.
I think we're entering the age where, like, Elden Ring being nominated. What?
No. Like, back on topic. Yeah.
So like Elden Ring being the thing that everyone's like, it's probably gonna win Game of the Year and cheat, and that's why they put it as DLC. Like, that's goofy. But at the same time, like, Elden Ring and the Dark Souls series really scratched that itch and is still riding that high, I think, of being the series that, like, is kind of challenging, but also does something different. It feels like so many other things have just kind of been bleeding into this. Okay, I'm an open world Ubisoft-esque game where there's collectibles and there's a story.
Because there are some companies that have regained their faith. Like, I could not be more proud of Capcom.
Yeah. Capcom's a big one.
Like Capcom has, like,
they turned it around.
Really turned it around, while, like, there are some other companies like Ubisoft where I'm like, I really won't touch a Ubisoft game. I might play Outlaws, but like I'll probably play it when it's like $10, like
Yeah.
5 or 6 years from now.
Yep.
Like I'll be real.
No, I think people are getting tired of, one of the things I heard about, it's funny, one of the podcasts I listened to, a guy just finished Horizon Zero Dawn, and he played, and they were talking about, he had also played Dragon Age, and he was talking about how, like Horizon Zero Dawn, he had fun playing. The combat was solved by the end, and literally, like, he didn't give a shit about any of the characters. He was interested in the mystery of, like, where do mecha dinosaurs come from?
Yeah.
But the actual moment-to-moment characters had nothing interesting about them, and I think a lot of people are kind of losing this, like, I think a lot of games are in this kind of generic era where it's, and he said the same thing about Dragon Age, where it's like a lot of the characters just have no teeth, they have no flaws, they have no edges. It's just everybody is this sanded down Marvel experience.
I disagree.
About what?
About characters not having like in-depth characters that you care about.
No. I'm not saying everything. I think.
Just talking about visual fidelity.
No. I'm saying
No.
the things that people care about are things where people do have that, like Baldur's Gate or like the challenge of playing Elden Ring. Those are the things that are drawing people to new games and keeping people interested, whereas a lot of these mainstream games are coming out and they just feel very sanded down and, like, what's it called? Focus grouped? Like, very Marvel-esque, similarly, where it's just, here's the thing, you know exactly what you're going to get, and it's just kind of getting stale at this point. I'm not saying...
I feel like that's only limited to, like, a few studios or like big publishers.
Well, yeah. What are the games that everyone hears about? The big publishers.
Yeah, but like Sony Interactive hasn't been doing stuff like that.
Sure, but Tyler, we're also in the age where games take forever to come out from the big guys.
Yeah.
Like, look at how many new games came out this year that were like major announcements. Were there that many? Not really. Like we talked a couple weeks ago when Freeman
Except for last year, 2023 was like the new 2003.
No, but like there's definitely good games coming out, but I think a lot of the big publishers are kind of running into this problem where they're just everything is like, we how many headlines have you guys seen on Reddit of like the movie industry is same thing where everyone's like, "Ooh, there's no sequels coming. There's nothing but sequels coming out next year." Because everybody's so scared and risk averse.
Same thing. Yeah, because you know why? Because we're the problem. The general populace, and this is why we keep talking about the same shit over and over again. Like this is why Nintendo's the only company to come out and be like, yeah, we're gonna put out the same shit and everybody loves it.
And we explicitly don't want you to play the old shit because we want you to buy the new version of our shit.
We only want you to buy
the old version of our old shit.
They're the only ones, but like in every other sense, like. That's true. Like we can't like we say we want new stuff, but like let's be honest, most people just don't want new stuff. Like you, me, and Freeman, who like ingest a lot of media, we crave something a little bit deeper, right? And something different because like we've experienced it all already.
Yeah, but
the general populace is sheep, and like, yo, man, I don't disagree. A lot of them don't know what they want.
No, I don't disagree, but I mean, at the same time, Tyler, you have your other Discord server where we were just talking about how they play a lot. They spend a lot of time online playing games. They burn through a lot of games. Like, look at Call of Duty, already done and gone. Was that worth $60? $70?
No. Well, that is, to be fair, at least we all got it on Game Pass.
Yeah, I was saying, if you got through Game Pass, it's no skin off your bones.
Well, yeah, but I mean, that's kind of what I'm getting at. I don't know. We're so far off from the top. But then, all the way back to the original, Stalker. Is it buggy? Yes. Is it weird? Yes. People love that shit. People are looking for that new thing.
Yeah.
And I think it isn't surprising at all that a difficult, weird game like Stalker sells great, while Dragon Age is like, okay, it's another RPG from BioWare. I'm gonna go through. Like, it's so rote. For all of the complaining that people do about, like, the Dark Soulsiness and Elden Ring of, like, how the NPC quest lines are, like, so obtuse. How many people have made entire YouTube careers off of just that game series? There isn't anything else like that. People actually have to put work in, and it matters. And, video games. So anyway, moving on to
I want to loop it. I want to loop it back to the
Sure.
actual topic before we walk away from it. So Stalker 2 broke 1 million. Was this just a case of like the Stalker franchise has been so like stagnant for over 10 years that everyone's just excited for another one to come back? Or was
Stalker
2
1,
actually a good game?
No, Stalker 2 is the sequel to a game that came out. Oh God, Tyler, do you have
back
an idea?
in like early 2000s?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Stalker.
Like, we're talking like an almost 20-year gap.
So there's Stalker Shadow of. There's like Stalker side projects, but Stalker Call of Pripyat, I think, is the last one. Yeah, Shadow of Chernobyl, then Call of Pripyat came out, and that was 2010. And I think people either play Pripyat or I think they play Shadow of Chernobyl still as the main one. But either way, they all are. Yeah. The games are over almost 15 years old in the Stalker franchise, and it sold 1 million copies when the sequel came out, and it's a buggy mess, and people still are going crazy for it. Like, no shit, people are looking for some cool new thing. And I think it also speaks to like how marketing doesn't matter as much, because like Dragon Age was thrown in all of our faces all the time. Like, I went on Reddit and I was like, "Oh, Dragon Age, Dragon Age."
Kind of marketing,
huh?
Because a lot of people were super like they were iffy on it. Like there were probably a lot of people who were going to buy it and then decided no, because people like Friedman saw stuff online where like people were like, oh yeah, that's going to be a no for me because this isn't Dragon Age, or like
Yeah,
this just looks different. Like people were put off. Like it was such a poorly received opening to that
yeah.
I think it heavily skewed. Like it turned off people who would have probably gotten the game to not get it day one.
Yeah. I think that's also part of it. A lot of people are getting trained to just go. I think more and more people are hitting the point of, fuck it, I'll buy the game when it's done and good. Unless I know the developer needs my money. Or I know it'll be good right away, like Elden Ring. Doesn't really need patches.
Yeah.
Whereas Stalker does need patches, but people are like, fuck it, money. And then you get to things like BioWare, or like Ubisoft and BioWare games, where you're like, this will have like 2 expansions. In 2 years, it'll be $5 and have everything bundled in. I mean, look what we're talking about, Ghost of Tsushima. That game didn't need anything. That wasn't a wait to buy thing. But I'm much more likely to buy it while it's on sale.
So there's a kind of an issue. So the Guild Wars 2 community has this problem that they moved expansion models to like the expansion will start in August, and then every 4 months a new content pack releases for the expansion, and it's not done until a year later where the full expansion is released. But then they are immediately prepping for the next mini expansion. But the problem is the whole community is playing the current content, so that by the time the full expansion is released, everyone's ready to move on to the next thing, and the old content, there's no one there doing it. So the community's up in arms because a lot of people are like, I want to wait until all the content's here before I pay for it. But that means I don't get to play it with the community because they're all playing it as it releases. Yeah. And it's almost like the same kind of, it's the quandary of, do I wait till it's complete or do I accept the buggy mess and enjoy it with the larger gaming community?
Also, as a side note, I'm looking at Steam for the featured deep discounts right now. Far Cry 5 and Assassin's Creed Odyssey, which I would both classify as pretty new feeling games, $6 a pop.
New feeling games?
Like they came out, even though they came out like, probably like 4 or even 5 years ago at this point. To me, they don't feel that old, and they're $6 now.
Wait, sorry, which ones?
Far Cry 5 and Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
Like Devil May Cry 5?
Yes, also. But that's not on the deep discounts, Tyler.
It was, though. It was
was it?
Yeah. Like everything. Dude, Resident Evil 4 was $20.
Speaking of which, wait. No. Oh, Fallen Order is $4. That's pretty good. Killing Floor 2, $1.50. That's pretty good.
Oh, that's a steal.
Mad Max is $2. That game, I like that game a lot.
I bought that on sale a few weeks ago because it was $2 also.
Yeah, I'm starting to add a couple of these to the collection now.
Damn.
See how many games I can purchase for $20 total.
Freeman, you could buy Darkest Dungeon, Mad Max.
I already own Darkest Dungeon. Throw
Fallen
Mad Max
Order. Killing Floor 2, and
Dang, I already own Fallen Order.
Assassin's Creed Odyssey or Far Cry 5 just as a fill-in. You could buy all of those things for under $20 together.
All right, so including the 2 Civilization games I just bought, I'm spending $25
Nice.
tonight.
Damn, and those are all bangers too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mad Max is honestly a lot of fun. I like that game. Speaking of open world games, I always liked that one because I like that aesthetic. Anyway, and meanwhile, I might spend $90 to get Space Marine and what's it called? Oh my god, we were just talking about it. Oh, Ghost of Tsushima.
What? Oh, Ghost, yeah.
Ooh, Freeman, Metaphor ReFantazio, 25% off.
No, it's already cheaper. Too bad I already own it for PlayStation 5.
It's also $70 a game. Uh-oh, that's scary.
Yeah, no, the future's now. Persona 3 is also cheaper if anyone's interested. Listeners, not you two. I know you two don't give a shit.
What do you mean? I'm playing SMT3 right now, bro.
Tyler's
What are you
playing
talking
Shin
about?
Megami Tensei. What do you mean?
Yeah, this might be the stepping stone to see if I can trick you into playing a Persona game.
All right. So so that was a lot longer than we meant, but the next next stories are pretty quick. Speaking of failing franchises, though, well-known YouTube montage video made for YouTube video game Mortal Kombat. There are rumors that they have canceled the next DLC round of Mortal Kombat 1 due to poor sales of the previous round. Kind of can't say I'm surprised because everything I ever hear in any kind of fighting game space is that Mortal Kombat really isn't that good of a fighting game.
Yeah, Mortal Kombat is not that good of a fighting game.
And everybody just watches the fatalities online and then that's it. It's not.
Yeah, compared to the other fighting games that are out right now, like I don't think it hits as well.
I mean, I think it's. I would say, I don't know, but I think Dragon Ball FighterZ is also pretty big still.
Dragon Ball FighterZ is popular. Super Smash Brothers Melee is still popular.
Shut.
Yes.
For some fucking reason, like.
I'm trying to think of what else is going to be like if we look at like a potential Evo lineup. I wonder.
Everything's at Evo though.
Yeah, Mortal Kombat is because of
like,
money.
Even the Persona fighting game is at Evo.
Well, yeah, they have everything, but I mean like the main stage stuff.
Is Under Night in Birth the game with the oddest title still at Evo?
I don't probably somewhat. Freeman, even if it's not on the main stage, someone there will have a setup and will be running a bracket for something. So.
I'd shit you not. The release name for one of these was Under Night in Birth. In Birth is in dash birth. EXE : capital L late open bracket CL-R close bracket. That's the name of the game.
That's
not the file that I'm
pirating.
pirating.
Into though.
It looks like it. It's an Arc System Works game, so it's the Guilty Gear people.
Oh, okay.
I think we're pretty sure it was the Fall to Blaze Blue Calamity Trigger, which also Evo All Star. I think. Anyway.
Anyway,
I just wanted to throw it out there just because Mortal Kombat has been such a mainstay series for a long time. But if this is true, this really signals like they need to actually go back to the drawing board with like actual gameplay.
Which is funny because Mortal Kombat 1 was supposed to be them going back to the drawing board.
Yeah, this was supposed to be back to the except it's still a continuation of the original of the story from 11, so it's like or 12 or whatever it is. So what's the point?
Yeah, like their soft reboot or whatever.
Can we finally talk about things that we're looking forward to that just got announced? I think so.
Go ahead.
So I think we all watched Edge Runners, right? I'm 99% sure, but I'm just making sure we all watched Edge Runners. So, kind of out of nowhere, so CD Projekt announced 2 things recently. I didn't even add one of them, but they confirmed that they are in production of the next Witcher-related project. Seems like it's definitely not going to be... It's not going to be Geralt. We don't want it to be. But anything that comes from that universe is pretty sick, and I'm pretty excited. But at the same time, so I think it's because CD Projekt Red had like a quarterly earnings thing earlier this week or last week. But they also announced Cyberpunk 2077 has passed 30 million copies sold in the world. and Phantom Liberty has hit 8 mil.
Wow.
And that the game is coming to Mac next year. Woo. But more importantly, they announced that they are working on another animation project with Netflix for the Cyberpunk universe, which I find absolutely fascinating because Edgerunner and this game both seems to, obviously, 2077 is like a case study now in terms of don't launch your game early.
Yeah.
But Edgerunners was received pretty positively. But at the same time, it's not like they're putting out a game to go with this. So it's kind of like,
Listen, nah, I'm cool with that because
I am too.
they originally promised all this DLC. This is just animated DLC, all right?
Which
We're
is
not
fine.
getting anything else.
No, Tyler.
I wonder if they saw like the release of more Witcher content and just made people buy Witcher 3 more and more. And they're like, hey, we can just keep doing that with Edgerunners. It's a game that's already out. If we can get sales, we can get sales.
I mean, I have to imagine some kind of diminishing returns, but I think also that maybe they're getting more interested in like keeping their IP in the public eye and like kind of leaning into the Cyberpunk IP more than they did. But either way, they did not say if it's an anime or just animation. They did not say Trigger is involved. He just said there is an animation project. But man, why would you not go back to Trigger? I don't even know what Freeman, but we're not in the Weeb shit yet. But do we have any idea what Trigger's working on right now?
So I believe they're working on. We'll get to it in the Weeb ship, but Star Wars Visions 3. I know they're recruited for that.
Yeah, one episode. That's nothing.
They had the second season of Delicious in Dungeon is happening, and I believe it's next year.
Oh, that's.
And then they have a new, because I think they bought the rights to Pantheon Stocking with Garter Belt from Gynex, so they're able to actually produce season 2. So they already announced that, but that's
Holy
it. That's the only
shit.
projects.
That's a name I haven't heard of in so long.
I know, right?
I saw
It's
that in a
older
Mother's
Weeb shit
Basement
now.
video recently, and I kind of want to watch that show.
See, this is why you and I are not the same,
What?
Tim.
What?
You don't know about the obscure anime of ye olden times.
All right, anyway.
You heard about it in a Mother's Basement. I experienced it.
I was there when the lore was written.
Yeah,
I was there.
And I wasn't even into anime until I was like well into college. I watched 2 anime when I was in high school.
But yeah, y'all say that I hate anime.
Yeah, because you
Because
don't
you
watch
do.
it now.
You know how much anime I've
Freeman went
watched?
right for it.
So much, man. I watch so much fucking anime.
Tyler, we can't confirm that because you haven't filled out your My Anime list, so we don't really know how much you've watched.
Yep, that's right. I got these young whippersnappers. My
oh my
cousins
God.
who are like just coming up. They're like, "Oh, Tyler, I bet you haven't seen fucking Cowboy Bebop." I'm like, "What the fuck?" Like, you were still swimming in your dad's nutsack when I was watching that shit.
Jesus.
Like, what are you saying? And they're like, "What? You watched it?" I'm like, "What the fuck?" Well, I bet you haven't watched Hunter x Hunter, right? I'm like, all right, kid,
Oh
get
my
out of
God.
Tyler,
my
who
face,
are
like-
these kids?
my
What kids today are?
Unfortunately, they're related to me.
What kids are like? Yeah, time to watch Cowboy Bebop, that show from the '90s
Dude,
that's not
they
widescreen.
I'm telling you, at least the two kids I'm talking about, like, I love them to death. Actually, like, they're great, and I think it's super cool. That's like something that I would potentially have gotten bullied for is now normalized, and they won't get bullied. But like,
They won't get bullied unless
won't get
you do
bullied.
it.
Oh, I'm gonna do it for sure. They know me. But like, yeah, they think it's like them watching these quote old shows like puts them ahead of everybody else. And I'm
Oh,
like,
they're fighting
"Man."
for
It
street
gives them street cred.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're fighting for street cred, man.
Freeman, I can't believe we went for that same word without even meaning to.
Dude, they want that anime clout so bad, and I'm like, I knew there was a time before like isekais were a mainline thing. Please.
Anyway, that's really all there is to the news story. I just thought it was really cool that they actually came out and were like, yeah, we are making more animation, because that's pretty bold move,
That is
Cotton.
pretty neat,
Especially for, like I said, something that has nothing. Like, the only thing we know of CD Projekt Red working on is the next Witcher universe project. So maybe they're just planning for 12 years from now when the next Cyberpunk project comes out. right? Is that how long was it?
Have they announced anything regarding it, or they?
No, that's what I mean. The
Yeah,
only
like
thing
they
we know
just
is in production is the Witcher project.
they did that thing you hate, Freeman, where they're like, "We're gonna announce an
Oh,
announcement."
announcing an
Like,
announcement! God damn it!
yeah.
Well, I mean, actually, I saw a meme on Reddit earlier today that was like, "Hey, 6 years ago, guys, Elder Scrolls 6."
Oh my god, yeah.
That screenshot has
Oh,
existed for 6 years already.
God damn.
I hate it.
But you know what? No long. You know what existed and died in that way less than that 6 years. Speaking of things that Ubisoft does that's annoying as hell. So 2K had joined the ranks of companies that was like, Steam's pretty good, but we need to have our own launcher on the side that you have to launch the game into to then launch the game after the launcher has launched, so that we can say we're gathering your data and you're signing up for our service. 2K has gotten rid of their launcher and ripped it out of every single game you can acquire online.
Yikes.
So thank God. Maybe they realized, oh wait, this is useless, and we get lots of customer complaints about this. Let's just stop being stupid. So, hooray! One of these evil launchers has been defeated.
But now, did the people who bought games on that though, did they get fucked out of their game?
I don't actually know. Let me check the news.
Like, was it a storefront or was it just a launcher?
No. Their launcher. So like the thing that would launch when you launch the game in Steam. Yeah, the 2K launcher has been removed from every game that used it on Epic and Steam.
Mm,
So yeah, what the launcher that they launched into are all gone.
gotcha. Okay.
And they
I'm
have
just
an
worried about the
article
people
on
who-
2K's website that tells you how to do every single game that had this.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, so they have a whole FAQ.
So they're not Ubisoft. That's nice.
Yes, exactly. Uplay. Ugh.
Like,
So yeah, more of this, please. More of getting rid of bloatware and the things that prevent me from launching my games would be nice.
Yeah, for real.
Speaking of getting rid of bloatware and things that no one cares about, and sunsetting things that are useless, Xbox said, "Oh, guys, remember how we hopped in the 360 era? We jumped on the Avatars train after the Wii came out with Avatars, and the only reason people cared about them was because you could play Wii Sports and see your little guy. Well, we're gonna finally stop developing cosmetics for these avatars."
I'm really surprised because not 8 months ago or no, I think it was like a year or two ago they introduced avatars for teams.
Oh yeah, these things are goofy.
Yeah, and probably every single business that ever uses Teams went, "What the fuck is
Yo,
this?"
Openly on my team when the feature first got announced and like got implemented, a few people did it on like our team meeting, and by then I was super like comfortable with them. Where I just straight up told them like, don't ever do this again. And they're like, "Oh, Tyler, you're just being a spoil sport." I'm like, "Nah, this is actual cringe. Like, don't do this." And they're like, "What?" Like, "Oh, come on." And then they also realized later on, like, "Yeah, this is cringe," and they stopped doing it.
Yeah, my coworker and I did it the week they came out, and our manager was just like, "This is a little uncanny valley. It makes it feel like you guys are actual AI right now." And we started talking with like zero emotion after that sentence. Till she told us turn those off. They're not allowed to use it anymore.
It literally never came up once at my job, and I use Teams every single day. It literally never once came up as even as a thing. Whew. Yeah, that's just yeah. So more getting rid of old junk that no one cares about. But man, I forgot about the Teams thing.
Yeah.
That's so wild.
Fuck you, Microsoft.
Oh, also as a side note, because we were talking about Ubisoft, I forgot a news story about them. I'm not even going to add it onto the list, because we've been talking about killing stuff. Actually, it also is relevant to Microsoft. There was a Windows 11 bug that was killing Ubisoft games. Did you guys hear about this?
No, what
No.
happened?
There is a Windows 11 update that came out that is accidentally killing Ubisoft games.
Huh.
let me see. Affected games are Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Origins, Odyssey, Outlaws, and the Avatar game. You can't install them on this version of Windows, but yeah, there's people don't know if it's like because of Ubisoft's. It seems like it's because of Ubisoft's like kernel level anti-cheat or something like that. Something they're doing deep in Windows that's not playing nice with an update. So, oops.
Oh wait, yeah, I remember this because Microsoft announced it in advance, not Ubisoft, which was weird. Like, what? Like, why is Microsoft announcing this one?
Hey guys, we had some people testing this update, and they were trying to play Outlaws, and they realized, oh shit, why won't Outlaws win?
Play Outlaws, damn. I was trying to play my copy of Splinter Cell Blacklist.
No, that wasn't on the list of affected games, Tyler.
Wasn't? Oh,
only these new
damn.
games, including Valhalla, that's on sale right now. That 90%. Yeah. So, spicy. That more stuff just refuses to work. Anyway, last story. Finally, someone else's news.
Oh yeah, so Sony, yeah, I put this one in here. Yeah, so Sony came out with an announcement saying they're looking to re-enter the handheld market. They were very, very vague about what this means. A lot of articles were reporting Sony wants to release a portable PlayStation 5, which we all know is absolute horseshit. You can't do that in a reasonable pricing model. So the question is, are we talking about reviving the PSP line where we have a mobile handheld that just has different games for it? Are they expanding the concept of the PlayStation Portal? Because they just recently had an update for Portal that instead of exclusively needing to stream from your PS5 on local Wi-Fi to your Portal, you can now stream from Sony servers. So basically, it's like a cloud play handheld, which for anyone who's in like the handheld space outside of Steam Deck, a lot of these cheaper Android ones, anyone on SPC Gaming on Reddit knows that a lot of the higher end Androids, if you can do like Game Pass streaming, you can do PlayStation streaming. That's a viable option for playing a lot of these games. And they've recently opened up the Portal to be able to do that. But the Portal's not dedicated hardware. It can't run anything locally. It's only for streaming content. So the question is, if Sony had onboard hardware, what would they do? So we know absolutely nothing outside of their developing this. We don't know what it's targeting, what it's going to do. But it very much seems like Sony's aware that Nintendo ran away with the last console generation purely because they also just cornered the handheld gaming market as well. So it seems like Sony wants to compete with Nintendo. That's why they're announcing this. But no news this time how they're going to do it.
I'm no businessman, but this sounds dumb.
I'm thinking here.
Their games are most
dumb.
of their games are not geared towards that, and the ones that they came out with on Vita were far and few in between. Like the only ones that I would say had any sort of merit were anything that was made by like the Little Big Planet team. So like Little Big Planet and Tearaway.
It's like Media Molecule or something. I think that was their name.
Yeah, I think Gravity Rush was like good too.
So I'm gonna say they're almost gonna compete with themselves here. So flashback 4 years ago, the Steam Deck was a novel concept. Today, there's a lot more handheld Windows gaming PCs available. You like there's ROG has one of theirs. There's I think it's the Legion Go. There's a lot of options.
Has one, yeah.
So if you want to be playing current PC release titles, you may have to downscale them a little bit, but yes, you can play them. And with Sony's new policy of after a year we release all of our exclusives on the PC, it means there's already a high-powered handheld not locked down in the Nintendo ecosystem that people can go out and buy right now and play their games. So they're gonna be competing with the entire PC.
Boy.
They're gonna be competing with the PC ecosystem when they launch this. If the whole intention is this is just a mobile PS5.
Yeah.
Maybe you'll get that 1 year advantage over their PC releases, but like the meme is that PS5 has no games and the meme's not going away. Like you may get 1 year exclusivity on this PlayStation lockdown hardware where you can't access your Steam games, but it seems like they're going to have to compete with the PC market.
You know, it would be a wild concept I thought of that would actually probably it kind of pisses me off actually, but I think it would work for Sony. Like I feel like if they took their like PlayStation Now concept and made it more accessible, they could get a lot of people playing those older PlayStation games.
Absolutely. The one game I always want to see them remake, remaster, do something with is Infamous because it's locked on PS3. And if they have their official emulation service up and online and available, like these old PS3 locked games could be something I would pay for.
Yeah, like instead of going through other means of acquiring them, if they make it easy to like play them, because
Yeah.
like if they make it also good, because like I've played older games on my deck and so have you. Like,
I haven't gone up to PS3 because I heard it was sketchy, but everything before that has been viable. Or yeah,
oh
sorry, everything
yeah,
earlier than that has been viable.
yeah. But yeah, I think it could be a good idea if they play that right. But if they're just gonna focus doing a PS5 thing, I don't know, man.
I mean, here's the thing: when the PSP was out, I remember them like being very excited that the PSP can play PS1 games, and we're gonna start selling the PS1 classics. And they did this like around the same time that they offered it on PS3. And at the time, it was a big selling point to be like, hey, you can just play all the old games that you love and remember. Like, there's a whole market of people buying these nostalgic consoles for emulation purely to relive old games they loved. And if you give an opportunity to play on a high quality handheld for a cheap price, people will buy that.
Yeah,
Whether that's a huge addressable market, I don't know. I have enough research to tell you, but
I don't know. Whatever. We'll see what happens. It'll probably bomb like the Vita did too. So
I
probably.
well, it depends
Did
on how much the scalpers jack the price up.
Hot take here. Did the Vita actually have any games?
Vita had games.
Vita had games? All right.
Yeah, I listed them here. It was literally
Yeah, we covered the whole
Tearaway,
list.
Gravity Rush. Like,
For the long time Persona 4 Golden, but that's not true anymore.
yeah, I'll say it had
Freeman, you're
Persona 4
free.
Golden.
You don't have to pretend to like the Vita anymore.
Look, man,
Yeah.
yes, absolutely. I mean, not to lie, the form factor is pretty nice.
Now, do I still like my Vita? Well, actually, I use my Vita a lot until I got a Steam Deck. Yeah, like I found like new life for it, like for other purposes. And it's funny because like I have access to the entire Vita library now, like the entire
What?
library.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Oh
let me tell you
my
how
gosh.
many games that I downloaded. Like 3. 2 of them were the ones that I have listed. Like, and I'm just like, man, there wasn't shit for this console. And you know what? I mostly downloaded fucking PS1 games
Yep.
and a few PS2 games, and that's it.
Tyler, before we go to the next topic, can I ask you a question? As the
Sure.
resident Star Wars fan on this podcast, are you and Michelle
Damn.
gonna watch Skeleton Crew?
I wasn't even aware of Skeleton Crew, honestly.
It is about to come out with the 2-part premiere.
Really, when?
I don't know. I just was on IGN and I saw that it's coming out, and I don't care enough to know the date. Let's see what it was.
Well, I mean, even that being said,
December
with us-
2nd. So they came out yesterday.
Oh, what
and
the
The rest are
fuck?
coming out the day after starting to come out the day after my birthday.
Holy shit!
It already came out.
Whatever. Okay. Yeah, we didn't even know about this. I mean, that being
There
said,
you
yeah, I
go.
guess we'll give it a try. Yeah,
Okay, I can't wait to hear about it.
I'm sure you can. Yo, we've been watching this show called The Jackal, though.
Yes,
I'm
you.
2 episodes in.
Well,
That shit
we'll get there. We'll get there.
is good.
So yeah, Freeman.
Yeah, is it time for the weeb shit? Sounds like it is. So
That's a
let's start off
crisp one.
strong. We got Star Wars Visions
Speaking of Star
3.
Wars.
Yes. We got Visions 3 announced. They're back to doing actual weeb shit. Unlike Visions 2, where they went purely international, almost no Japanese
Weird.
studios, they're back to, yeah, weebs like Star Wars. Let's go get some weeb shit in here. And they're recruiting a bunch of big name studios. A couple of them are back, including Production IG and Trigger. If I remember correctly, Production IG did like the 9 Jedi episode, which was super cool, and everyone's really hoping that the studios that are returning are going to do sequels to the episodes that they did last time. I personally could very much stand to watch Trigger do another episode where someone cuts a Star Destroyer in half with a lightsaber.
I
Wild.
don't need that.
I kind of
Yeah, I
want
don't want that either.
I kind of want like any kind of okay. I can't remember which episodes were which. Didn't Trigger do 2? And the other Trigger, the
they
other
may have,
Trigger
because
was better?
Trigger, there's 2 directors. There's Imaishi, who's basically the Gurren Lagann guy, and there's the other one.
I keep going. I'm looking. I'm trying.
And
to
I don't know who's doing what. Hold on, I'm trying to look up the what other studios are involved in Visions 3.
Yeah, there was a whole picture.
Yeah, because I think
Okay,
Studio
the
Wit
other
is
one.
on
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah. The other one was where the guy and his Padawan show up on a planet and they encounter the old man who's a Sith.
Yeah.
That one was
Sith.
so much better than the fucking.
Oh yeah, that one. That one's really good.
That one was really good.
Anyway, yeah. So we got Trigger, we got Studio Wit, we have Production IG who's coming back. We have Kamikaze Duga, who I think they did Pop Team Epic, which is weird to see them doing a real project. We have Kinema Citrus, who's like
Yeah.
they're the Shield Hero studio, who they can produce good content. They just need good writers.
Yeah, I was gonna
And then-
say it looks fine. Shield Hero looks fine. It's just the writing turned into dog shit.
And then the big one I was so hyped to see on this list is David Production, who while they're known while they've more recently done Fire Force, they're famous for doing the JoJo franchise. So I'm
Yeah.
like, they're not going to do a JoJo episode of Star Wars, but if they did,
we're also getting Fire Force finishing next year, right?
when is that releasing? That was announced so long ago.
It's starting
and the manga's
next year.
over.
That's all I remember.
Yeah,
I'm
so
hyped for Fire Force to finish. Fuck yeah, dude.
either way, Visions 3 gonna be super cool.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited for Visions 3. Definitely more than 2.
All right, moving on.
Not that 2 didn't have a couple bangers, but overall it was.
As apparently the resident Star Wars fan, I honestly don't care.
Yeah, this is known. Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, because this
Damn,
is interesting, Tyler. You like the mainstream shit. You're
I just
too
like anime OVAs.
Well, after I'm hot off of KOTOR 2, get fucked.
That's okay, Tyler. Not for nothing. What's more mainstream than one of the most highly rated Star Wars games, literally of all time?
I don't know what you want from me, man. I don't know what you want from me. Fuck you.
Like
fuck
Dan
this.
to Dan before episode 7. How about that?
yeah, right. Like Dan to Dan before episode 7. Yeah.
Anyway, let's keep going. This is actually hype for Tyler for another reason.
Moving on. Bandai seems like they ran out of cool shit to make plastic models out of, so they needed to go contact someone else to come up with a new series for them. So Sunrise is partnering with Studio Kara, who, if that name doesn't sound familiar, what?
Hold on, I'm confused. Isn't the CG Gundam gonna sell lots of new kits and is really good?
They only made like 3 kits from it.
They're
already out for sale, but they need more. They need increased sales because they opened. All right, so hold up. Context into what's going on with Gundam.
Right.
Gundam blew up during COVID. Like people started buying the shit of it, and they couldn't produce them fast enough. So they started opening a second factory in Japan, and it's going online in 2025. So they're finished construction. It's beginning manufacturing early next year. So they need more models to print to justify having a second factory. So what did they do? They're like, let's announce a new Gundam series. Now that Witch from Mercury's over and we sold the Everling shit of all like 70 fucking figures we made out of this 24 episode show.
Yeah, and how many did you buy, Freeman?
Like 7 of them.
Jesus.
These were all very. First of all, they're all high grades. They're like $20 or less. And second of all, this was like one of their best lines ever produced. These kits were all of them were stellar.
I'm glad something came out of that show.
I bought the worst kit in the line, and I fucking loved this kit. Like that shows you how good the Witch Mercury kits were.
I mean, I will say none of us ever talked shit about the designs from that show. I know we're off topic, but like we all liked the designs of the mechs. It was just watching that show that was a slog.
Yeah.
Yeah,
the Gundams were the best part of that show, which seems to be, as someone who's watched all of Universal Century, that seems to be like a recurring trend with Gundam.
It's fuck the humans. We need the mechs.
Yeah, it's like I don't actually care about this war shit. Tell me plastic.
It's the same thing with Godzilla. Fuck the humans. We want to see the big thing.
Except for a space Africa though. That was the
opposite. Well.
Actually, though,
I would actually say that the mechs are also still bangers in that.
No, they're not. We said that they were.
Barbados is right there, Tyler. It's on my shelf.
Except for
Barbados is like the only good design in that show.
Yeah, that's the only one. Like literally, like when I talk about that show, I don't talk about Barbados.
Yeah, but Barbados is like 5 designs in one because it keeps evolving every 5 minutes.
And they're all good, except for the rest of it.
Yeah, no, the rest of it. Yeah, you know what? You know why? Because it's Space Africa. Because they're just chunky, dumb-looking robots. It's like every robot's a Zaku. That's what all of it is.
Yeah.
Anyway,
so Sunrise is working with Studio Kara, and if that name doesn't sound familiar, it's the studio that Hideaki Anno founded to do the Evangelion reboot movie series. So we're getting our Gundam X Evangelion collab here in terms of Gundam design. and they announced the name of this. So there's no
Oh,
way this is
fuck.
Universal Century. And I looked at the name, I'm like, someone definitely just typoed this in the article. Only to realize this is the actual spelling. It's Gundam GQ with GQ and then like 6 U's lowercase and then a capital X. No way this is actually pronounceable. This has to be some anti-piracy measure like in the title.
No.
But
I thought I saw on Reddit. I was reading this. It's like G-Quacks? G... It's...
G-Cucks.
What'd you call me?
No, that's how it's pronounced.
Jiku-Aksu?
Either way, the confirmation that it's a
know.
TV series is nice, because the last time we got them hinting shit, it ended up being like, oh, a web compilation of cutscenes from a mobile video game or some shit, when they were like hyping up something for Iron Blood Orphan. So real TV series means we're probably gonna get at least 12 episodes of some weird collab thing. They had principal artwork for what's assumed to be the lead Gundam, and it looks goofy. Everyone's concerned because like the feet are like, how the fuck are they gonna put this into a model kit? Nothing's attached to anything. So we'll see what happens. I'm looking forward to the high grade when it releases before the show comes out.
I will say, so Freeman, there's a 2-minute trailer.
There's a what?
I'm watching it on my phone literally right now with no
hold
sound.
up. I'm gonna watch at the end of the episode.
Yeah, we should definitely. I'll stop and we'll watch it together. But the first few seconds look really pretty, and we are back to giant colonies. Like colonies are fucking huge again.
Oh hell yeah!
Make colonies big again.
Oh God.
Colony drop, bro. All right.
I mean, we've established that we're all kind of still orbiting around Gundam. I mean, we still have Knitting Circle every once in a while. Freeman, you've literally come over to our house and just sat and built Gundams while we're entertaining Henry.
I gotta get to the backlog. Two of the new ones I got came in, the real grade RX-78, and then the one with the dumbest name I've ever seen, the master grade ball. It's literally a ball. I gotta get through these Gundams. I'm gonna have too many bosses in my apartment.
I'm opening my desk and I've got 2 boxes for Wing Zero and fucking Barbados sitting right there. I need to pick a new kit eventually.
I need to finish mine still.
Oh yeah,
I have a kit I don't want to build anymore. If you just want one to build him.
What?
So in Witcher Mercury, there was the episode where the two Jobber twins show up, but instead of having gun bits, they just straight up have Gundams as their bits, and those things called the Gund Volva. Odd name. I bought them thinking I'd want to. You heard me. I thought I'd want to build them. I kind of don't, because they're basically just grunt Gundams. So if you want to build one, it's available.
I only really want to build ones I care about. And
Are you sure Henry's just going to destroy whichever one you build, though?
I mean, Henry has pulled Wing Zero off the shelf a couple times and destroyed it like the Wing Gundam that's in ancient junk kit that
Val had to fit its foot out of his Pikachu tank the other day.
Oh man. No, I want to pick ones that I have like an attachment to, which mostly just involves Wing or well, I already did Barbados.
Entirely understandable.
But maybe this new show will make me buy a piece of plastic. Yay!
New high grades are great.
I will say the engineering is always the coolest part of this to me. Like the way they make these pieces to fit all together. Like it's just astounding how much engineering goes into these.
Yeah, they've been going crazy with the newest sets.
Anyway, we're gonna watch the trailer, but new Gundam coming. I don't think we know when though. This has to be mid next year, if not late next year, right?
There's no way it's releasing in January. It's way too soon. Earliest we'd see this is like a March release.
Yeah.
But my money's on June.
Yeah, I'd bet June. That's what, 6 months? 2 seasons?
They don't have a date.
2 seasons seems fine.
No, wait, hold up. The first episode coming to theaters January 17th. What the?
Whoa.
What?
Prior to the airing of the TV series, theatrical version using re-edited episodes. What the? Hold on.
Are you on the right thing? Re-edited.
I'm on the Gundam Info video that they posted. So this is the Gundam Info is like the official uploader for their video content. So it sounds like multiple episodes will be released in theaters on January 17th, prior to the airing. So I'm willing to bet March is when it's actually coming out.
Wow, that's crazy. Spring season? Jeez.
Most likely. All right, this is good. That means we're getting high grades in February. Let's go.
Oh my god.
Spend more money. Let's go.
Freeman's like, yay, I got all my holiday money. Now I can go buy more plastic that I'm three.
Bro, these high grades are only $25. That's how they convince you to buy 74 of them from a given franchise. it's magical.
Damn.
All right.
All right. Yeah, let's keep going.
Yeah, so that was it for the new releases. The rest of this content is about like new releases outside of Japan. So First and foremost, Dragon Ball Daima, the brand new Dragon Ball GT remaster. It's currently airing in Japan. Fans are split over whether this is the greatest piece of media ever to be released or an absolute piece of dog shit. Really can't get consensus on this one.
No way.
All I know is that the dub that they really hyped up was going to be simul-dubbed and released right after the premiere in October is actually going to be releasing in January. So January 10th, we have the dub premiere on Crunchyroll. I know the first 3 episodes are already dubbed and were in theaters like 2 weeks ago, so I really don't know what the delay is. I'm not sure if they're just trying to build up a backlog so they can do weekly releases for the entire 20, I forget how long Daima is running for. It's not a standard length show, but for the entire release of it. So we'll get that on Crunchyroll starting January 10th. I'm going to give it a shot. As far as I'm aware, episode 8 or 9 has like a big moment that's telling people either this is amazing or I should drop this show. So I feel like that's going to be my cutoff point with that. So we'll see what happens.
What does that even mean in Dragon Ball?
They add some new shit to the lore that redefines how Dragon Ball was. And it's like either you enjoy that they're adding depth or you hate that they're shitting on the legacy is what it feels like.
Oh boy. I want to hear off podcast because I just don't fucking care about this
I don't
show.
know what it is. I'm trying to not get spoiled, but I just know why people are complaining.
Okay, got it. Never mind.
Yeah. Moving on. Time to talk about the Rascal Doesn't Dream franchise. So, for some context here for listeners, the show Rascal Doesn't Dream of Bunny Girl Senpai comes out in like 2017. I don't believe it's simulcasted. I think you had to pirate it to watch it. It released on Crunchyroll much later. Then, after season 1, they did a movie. That movie released in U.S. theaters, I believe, a year after it came out in Japan. I saw it in theaters. It was really cool.
Didn't we see
you
it together?
did not. I showed it to you at your house.
Oh.
Yes, because I had to pirate it years later.
That's right. That's right.
So it comes out in Japan. A year later, it comes out in the U.S. It's still like not out on Blu-ray for some reason. Then they finally release it on Blu-ray in the U.S. It's nowhere available for streaming. Now I believe you can rent it for like full price on YouTube to watch this movie. That is the only way to watch this movie. Since then, they've released 2 new movies in this franchise, both related to like the sister second arc. Both of them are required watching before the new season that they announced that's coming out next year. And currently, those 2 movies are not available for streaming outside of Japan. They have made them available in U.S. theaters 1 day only. Both movies 1 day only. For the sub, 1 day for the dub, double feature. You had to be there for it. I was at a wedding that weekend, so I couldn't go see either of these. They have not made it available for streaming. They still don't have Blu-ray release plans. Crunchyroll announces that they're finally releasing the dub for season 1. Not the movie, not movie 2, not movie 3, season 1, with plans to dub movie 1, which you still can't watch on Crunchyroll subtitled. No plans to release movies 2 and 3 outside of Japan, even though they're required watching for the upcoming season that's releasing. This is Aniplex. Aniplex is a big company. They're owned by Sony. I don't know what the fuck they're doing. They not want people outside of Japan to watch season 3? Because like they're literally not even selling movies 2 and 3. There's no way for me to pay them to watch this shit. So I don't get it.
It's a fuck you, American.
It's so dumb. This is such a bad franchise too. Like I shouldn't be this heated over it, but I'm mad that in the modern era, a big company is like dropping the ball like the year is 2001. Like it's not that hard to release this shit on streaming platforms, especially when you, Aniplex, owned by Sony, who owns Crunchyroll, who owns Funimation, who owns the biggest streaming platform for anime in the world, doesn't put it on your own streaming platform.
This sounds like the perfect time to mention our sponsor, NordVPN. I mean, would that be a solution that you can employ?
I don't know if it's available for streaming in Japan.
I think as if it was.
If it was, then I'd use my Linus Tech Tip screwdriver to get myself out of this problem. Store.com. Moving on to the next one. Actually, this one's a double. I forgot to put it on here. So, Fate's Day night. The Fate's Day franchise celebrated the 20th anniversary. They had a big event out in California to celebrate it. They added new gacha shit in Fate Grand Order. They confirmed.
So bought for sure.
I already had the Saint Chord saved up to roll in it, and I got absolutely dog shit for it. But the big things were the Fate's Day Night Heaven's Feel movies, which they'd been released on Blu-ray. They are stupidly expensive, like $80 Blu-rays for these movies. They suck. You can rent them full price on YouTube. It's the same kind of idea. This is very much an Aniplex situation. But they finally announced the movies are coming to Crunchyroll, the whole trilogy. Meaning now, if you wanted to, you could watch all of the shit, what's the studio name? It's Ufotable Fate Project. You watch Fate Zero, you can watch Unlimited Blade Works, you can watch the Heaven's Feel movies. So if you wanted to catch up on like the OG Fate franchise, this is it. It's all now gonna be on Crunchyroll. And then the big thing I'm excited for is Fate Strange Fake, which is like the Avengers level crossover of the Fate universe. 2 years ago at Anime Expo, we got air quotes episode 0, which is basically just episode 1, but it's not on TV. That premiered there. It was phenomenal. They were supposed to start the premiere of the franchise the following New Year, so New Year's 2023. Or I guess no, maybe it was New Year's 2024. They're supposed to be like, all right, now we're going to show you episode 1 and start the airing of this series. And then they just didn't. They just canceled the New Year's event. No one could figure out why. And they've been radio silent about this show because it's like it was supposed to start in January. What's the deal with it? So they had, I think it was Anime Expo. They had the actual premiere of episode 1 there. You had to be there to see it. And then for the 20th anniversary event, they're making episode 1 available in Japan. And then they made only the dub available outside of Japan for this event. So if you're outside of Japan, you still can't watch the subtitle version of episode 1. That was Japan exclusive. You can only watch the dub. And you can only watch it for a week. Crunchyroll only had rights to this episode for 1 week. And now, in January, they'll be re-releasing episode 1 with subtitles, but not the dub, which you can't watch anymore. And then when it's simulcast, I don't know if it's simulcasting with the dub or if this dub episode 1 is now going to be exclusive to the DVD release whenever that fucking happens. So, more good release shit out of Japan. I just want to watch Strange Fake. This shit is phenomenal. There's mages with guns. There's multiple Grail Wars happening at the same time. Shit's wild. Go watch Fate. Moving on to the last item. I talked this one briefly during the last episode. So, franchise that's close to my heart, Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya, was like that big 2006 anime moment where shit just popped off. And this was the show that started like the big movement of light novels getting anime adaptations. And one of the things that jettisoned its popularity was the ending song had a dance that went with it, and that shit went viral back in 2006. So they had a crowdfunding project that I talked about last time where they wanted to do a new song and music video for the franchise, but it was just a random project, unrelated to anything else. So they crowdfunded it, and it met its goals in like 2 hours. So they saw how much people want this. They started adding more and more tiers if it got crowdfunded more. And now they're up to, they've hit the goal for, instead of 1 song, they do 3 songs with music videos are now going to be produced. And they're debating whether they want to add a 4th tier to make a 4th one because people are so overwhelmingly supporting this project. So at this point, 1 music video is going to be fine, but if they're doing 3, they might all end up shitty now. They have to make so many of them. So I'm a little concerned, but I am very impressed that the community is still there for this franchise because it's basically dead now that Shonen Animation won't animate those projects anymore because they won't animate stuff they don't own the rights to. So there hasn't been an anime project since like 2016 when it first went to spin-off studio and they failed to animate it correctly. So I don't know. Really hoping we get some more stuff out of this franchise. I don't want it to be dead. But that's it for the Weeb shit.
That was a lot of weed shit.
It was mostly just me bitching. There wasn't a lot of Weeb news.
Yeah, there really wasn't that much, but it was.
It's just me. It's just I would like to watch these shows, and Japan's like, nah. How about you pay us money if we let you?
How about you pay us money? Just kidding. You still can't
Just
watch.
kidding. We won't let you.
We just don't want you. Just get away from us.
Yeah, don't.
just go away. Buy our kits and go away.
Go look somewhere.
Buy our kits and go away.
So Tyler, you put a lot of stuff on here.
I didn't put a lot of stuff on here. I usually put more stuff.
I put more than he did.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
Tyler
usually
put
I
the
put more
first
than
stuff on here.
Yeah. So I needed a palate cleanser before I decided to double fist RPGs now.
Classic.
I don't know why the fuck I do this to myself. All right. Yeah, I started playing Shin Megami Tensei Nocturne.
Let's go.
And I'm like, this game is fun. But then Aiden's like, I want you to play Dragon Quest 11. And he bought me Dragon Quest 11. So I'm like, well, I guess I'm just going to play both of these games and burn myself out.
Porque no los dos.
Yeah, I think I'm just going to dump a lot of my time into playing both of those games next week while I'm off. So I guess it works out.
Solid, fun.
But yeah, like I'm playing Dragon Quest on my PC and I'm playing Nocturne on my PS2. That's on my Sony Trinitron. So like, that's fun.
So not a
That was
PS2.
amazing.
No, on a PS2.
That's Tyler. That's not a real PS2.
What are you talking about?
You just said it's a.
My TV.
Oh,
Yeah, the Trinitron TV.
Yeah,
I
Trinitron's a
thought that was one of
TV.
those like retro console things.
Oh no, like it's one of those. I told you about it, right? I think it's that like
Yeah.
professional
Yeah,
monitor.
yeah,
Yeah, man, that thing's so fucking nice. I can't believe it's like worth $800, but yeah, I won't get into it. That's
yeah.
just crazy to me.
Good for I've
Um,
gone down the rabbit hole of trying to add filters onto when I'm emulating to just get to mimic a fraction of that power.
to mimic this is what you yeah the Jesus Christ. Um, but I was like, I want to play a palate cleanser, so I was just going through all my games. I'm like, what's a game that I could just destroy in a week? And that was Devil May Cry 5.
Woo!
And this is the first one that I only beat 2. I beat 4, and I beat this like because you know what? I don't know why. I was never really big. Like I was always into Dante. I thought he was cool. He was a cool character. And I watched the anime, which I learned later on that no one liked, but I liked it, at least
Uh,
from what I can remember.
It was during that weird era of like video games getting anime projects through Studio Madhouse, like when Halo had an anime. It was the same idea.
Yes, exactly. I thought it was all right, at least what I remember. Apparently it's canon. Um, but I decided to give 5 a try. I'm like, dang, this is a really good game, but I don't think I'd ever play this again.
Oh,
Uh, yeah, I mean, I think it was good though. Like, it's a really good game, especially if you're into that kind of stuff. And I was like, then this was one of those games where I was like, damn, Capcom did it again. Um, yeah, like overall, I thought it was pretty good. I liked it. No more than that. It was a good palate cleanser. Like I said, I wanted a short game. Like I considered for a second going to like Shadow of Mordor
ooh.
because like that game looked like a lot of fun. Like I have a bunch of games that are like still in my like I have like a whole section of like need to play games. Um, like what's in here that I feel like should have been like at the top? Oh yeah, Alien Isolation I wanted to play too. The Fractured Butthole,
Oh yeah.
XCOM 2, yeah, like there's a few in here that I need to Need for Speed Heat. Like there's a bunch of shit I need to do, but anyway, I beat that. It was good. Moving on. One day while I was working
That
from home. Yeah, I don't know what else to say about Devil May Cry 5. It's good if you're
buried. Did you
into
play any of
those.
the DLC or anything? Did you play as Virgil at all?
Nah, I just stopped.
Wow.
I
Damn,
still want to
I
play the Virgil
like
DLC.
yeah, I don't know. I just didn't care that much. Like I said, it's not
Okay,
that
Tyler.
it wasn't bad, but like there was nothing about it that made me want to like play more of it. I don't know. I don't know.
Hold
Like
up,
I don't
boys.
have much
Hold
to
up. Hold
say.
up. Hold up. That's Tyler. That's fair. I'm about to stop you right there. No,
That's fine. No,
no,
go
no, no.
for it. Go
I'm
for it.
sending a link to you guys on Messenger because it's relevant to what we talked about a minute ago, and I'll say what it is after you guys see it. Because Freeman's gonna lose his shit.
Wait, 'cause did you beat Devil May Cry 5?
No, I watched an LP of it.
Okay.
So I just sent a link to. They have revealed the look of the main Gundam from the new series, and the kit is what they used.
Oh my god, they're already announcing it.
I can't even open it.
Releasing January. It's earlier than I thought. It's gonna come out with the movie.
It's coming out in January.
Holy shit, this thing looks stupid.
I can't even open the fucking thing.
Wait, really?
Yeah, I can't.
Can I open? Can you see the picture preview at all, or is it just not working?
Barely.
Hold on, let me try. Man, that's just.
What
You know
the
what?
fuck is this
Let me open it
thing?
on my computer, Tyler, and I'll send it to you on Discord.
Yeah, I don't know why I can't open it. That's weird.
Yeah, I don't know why you can't either. That's weird. All right.
The only thing I could tell is that it has high stilettos, and I think it's fucking stupid.
That's that. Those feet things are wild, dude. It is like
I don't even know how it's
floating.
attached. Here's the thing: ever since Iron Blood Orphans, Gundams have been doing this like big heel look.
Gotta have big
Like
feet.
half the Witcher Mercury
Oh, look
Gundams
at that!
had
Wait,
it.
go to the second view. You can see the back of the feet.
Yeah, so you can see the back of the feet. Man, that's wild.
That's weird,
That's an
dude.
interesting design.
Oh,
I don't like that third picture. Like, I can't tell what's going on. I really can't tell what's
Dude,
going
yeah, that's
on.
a
Oh,
weird
his
ass
leg is
backpack
up.
it's got.
Oh, it has a
I
little mounting
see.
stand. Yeah, it's doing a kick and it's got a little mounting arm.
Yeah, I literally couldn't understand what was. It's like I'm watching a Michael Bay.
Dude, what is the
fucking
fourth picture? It's like
movie.
he's like going into like a prayer ball or something
Yeah, it looks
like
like he's
that.
Oh,
taking a
that's
shit.
it's definitely a shot from the episode. We just don't know what it is yet.
Oh, where it's taking
Anyway,
a shit.
I
Yeah,
didn't mean to
you're right.
interrupt everybody. I just saw that I
I
was
get
on
it.
Reddit
It's
and
your
it
show.
threw,
You know, you
shut up.
wanna. It's
It
fine.
threw
I'm
that up at
interrupting.
me and I was like, "Oh, Freeman has to be aware live on air that as he's talking about the kits going on sale in February, here's the first kit announced 2 hours ago on sale in January."
Damn, you saw it live.
This came to the subreddit before the actual movie announcement or the show
Well,
announcement.
for
This was
context, this is the Gun Plus subreddit, so that this would have come first
I don't
before
even
the
know why
movie.
I don't even know why this showed up on Reddit for me, but yeah, there it is. This is gonna be a weird one. I can't wait to see the
Yeah.
trailer.
Good lord.
Anyway, so Tyler, you were
Alright.
you were working from home, and you're like, what's better than working from home and not working from home at the same time?
Yeah, exactly. So I was like, yo, I never actually like. I saw a lot of RoboCop 1 like bits and pieces, and I watched the remake, and I really liked the remake. So I'm like, you know what? Maybe I'll actually watch the first RoboCop like its entirety from like beginning to end, right? And I'm like, you know, if I was a kid in the 80s, this movie would fucking slap. I don't feel like it really aged that well.
Aw.
Sorry.
I mean, I've never
Sorry
seen
about
it. I watched the movies that made us episode about it and thought it looked really
that.
cool.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think it did, like, I think for what it was, like, it set a lot of good, like, precedents for things to come along in the future. But as far as, like, you know,
Now,
now, like, watching it, I don't think it really holds up.
that's fair.
Yeah, it was alright. I think I rated it like a 3 on
That's fine.
Letterboxd.
That's a good historical classic rating.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, it's valid.
Tyler, also,
And
small side note before your next thing.
mm,
For some reason, no reason at all that I can tell, the Sicario shootout is on the top of Reddit right now. The border
what?
scene.
Why?
I don't know. From r/movie critics, your choice for best shootout in movies, mine border scene from Sicario, and it's just a minute and a half of the border crossing scene.
I'm really surprised because, like, as much as I love that scene, I wouldn't say that
It's
was
not
my
a
favorite.
shootout.
It's not a shootout.
It's a tension moment. It's not a shootout.
And it's not even a. I wouldn't even consider it a shootout. It's a fucking massacre.
That's what I
Like,
said. It's not a shootout. It's
yeah,
just tense as shit, but it's not a shootout.
yeah. Like that scene is great. It probably is one of my favorite scenes in cinema. That being said, season 2 of Lioness, holy shit, that shit is good. There's a scene. I need to find this scene, Tim. I'll play it for you because you'll never watch this show.
Hey man.
But I want to play this scene for you, and it's like Taylor Sheridan was like, yeah, everybody liked that border crossing scene. What if we made it a giant gunfight instead?
Ooh.
Like the premise is the same. Like the QRF team is like going to like snatch this person basically, but like it's not like a criminal. They're bringing back like a diplomat, like an American diplomat, and they're being chased by the cartel and the
Ooh.
Mexican state police.
Nice.
It's pretty dope. Yeah, I'll pull that shit up. But I finished the show finally. I finished The Wire from HBO.
How many seasons was that? It was a lot, right?
No, actually, it was only 5.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, it is rated as one of the best TV shows of all time by like multiple sources. And this one has a little bit of a history of me. I won't get into too much of it so we don't go over too much, but like I tried starting this show twice before and I couldn't get into it because of how slow it was. Season 3 really picked up and I was like, I get why people like this. And I thought it was really good. If you like police dramas, Especially like err towards the more like realistic um side of things, then like it's good. Like endings don't exactly end, like characters' endings don't exactly end the way you expect them to. Like at least as far as TV goes, like they end very much how they would normally probably in real life. Like a character, I think like at the like survives towards the end of the series, but then dies to this kid who just I don't know. And that's the thing, this kid shoots him, and you don't even know why he shot him.
Whoa.
You just shot him in this grocery store, and that's it. And then when the cops find out he's dead, they're like, "Wow, I guess it is what it is," and like that's the end of it. Like that's how realistic it is.
Whoa.
Yeah. Um, it's a good show. I don't think it ended as well as people say it did, though.
Oh.
Like I think that like the ending it was to me was not so believable. Like, do you guys ever plan on watching this?
You can spoil it for me.
Go for it.
Okay, because the ending premise is actually pretty good. The last season revolves around the kind of main character. He's a homicide detective who used to be on like a major crimes unit, and he's like getting really pissed because the Baltimore Police Department's like losing money and like all this other bullshit. So he's like, "Yo, I have this great idea. We have this crack epidemic in
What?
Baltimore. No one's doing anything about it, right? Like these gangs are running free and all these people are dying from drugs, but since the coroner's office is being like held up and they're just kind of processing bodies without thoroughly checking them, he like invents this whole like serial killer like thing, and he turns just random crackheads dying in the street to like makes it believe like this is like high profile like serial killer is like prowling the streets of Baltimore killing off homeless people. And it works enough that he gets more funding, and it's enough to bring down like this other drug dealer basically. But like it's all on like this house of cards and this like crazy intrigue of like how long he's trying to keep up this lie for. Mind you, there's no plot like this for the entire show.
No.
And it goes completely off the fucking deep end,
Whoa.
like at the end, and you're just like, what the fuck? But like the thing that bugs me is it's like there's no coming back from this, and that's why this is fucked, right? Nah, tell me why he just gets to retire and go home. All because they're like, well, if this got out of like why, you know, why he was fired or whatever, like it'd be a big publicity thing. And I'm like, no fucking shot. There's no way. No way. No way him, or because like he had a guy who was conspiring with him too. Uh, and they both end up making it out. They're like, you can either get busted down to like this desk job and you'll never work another case in your life and like you won't retire with the pension you want, like, or you can leave. And they're like, all right, fuck it, we'll leave. And the thing is, during this case, the cops that knew about it were giving them shit. It's like, this is not what being a cop is. Like, like your ends doesn't justify the means. And then all of a sudden they 180 at the end, and they're throwing a party for them, like a going away party. I'm like, I don't know. I was like, people who actually are still listening to this podcast and you've watched The Wire, like, how do you feel about that ending? I didn't think it was the best ending. I did like the show overall. I think it's great. Highly recommend. But like, I think it was kind of fucked.
All right, question about the whole series though.
Yes.
Did you feel that it declined in its last season, or was it otherwise a strong season, just a weird finale?
Oh, it was a strong season. Yes, I can say that for certain. I like that whole season was really good. Like I I didn't like the first two seasons. I thought they were just kind of super generic and I didn't think it picked up. But like that last season I thought was very strong. I just thought the ending, in a series that felt super believable to me and very grounded, that was the most unrealistic thing.
Hmm.
Even when the main character like started framing a bunch of people and going off the deep end, like framing a bunch of murders that weren't real and going off the deep end. Like I thought that just made for a good plot, but I didn't like the resolution. Like as much as people like feel good stuff, I would have rather seen him like see that character come full circle, because you see him like, because the whole point of the entire season is like, do the ends justify the means? Like that's the theme, right? And
Yeah.
even if it was it like at the end it was super messy, but it almost like kind of like, how do I describe it? Like I want to get this point across exactly. Like they got what they wanted, but at the end of the day, like what did it cost them? And at the end of the day, all it did was cost them their jobs, which like given the circumstances and the gravity of what happened, I don't think that was enough. And I know the show is like not everybody gets their just desserts, but I still don't think it makes sense considering that their actions, how it played out to like the other officers and like their beliefs about like what being a police officer is, clearly didn't vibe well for them, to the point where like they didn't want anything to do with them, whether or not they were getting people paid or like getting actual casework solved, right? Like they were vehemently against it, and then at the end it's almost like it was hand waved away. It's like, oh yeah, they just get to live the rest of their lives. Whereas compared to a show like The Shield, right, where the main character gets what he wants, but like he is fucked for the rest of his life. Like he got his wish, right? Like I won't go into that ending, but like essentially like he wanted amnesty for his family, he got it, but they're in witness protection because they don't want to be near him anymore. And his whole team either got killed or is arrested. That left him by himself and left in a position where like he can't do anything he ever wanted to ever again. But he's free and he got the cushy job he wanted, but he's fucked. I'm done ranting. I feel like I went on way too long about that, about like themes and
It's fine.
how
It's a
things
big
should
deal
have ended.
show. It's only been like 10 minutes. No, it's okay though. It's okay. That's the point.
Yeah.
That's why we're
Dude,
here.
if I can whine about Bunny Girl Senpai, you can whine about this. It's fine.
About some normie shit. Well, I think the other thing, yeah, like I won't like my last point of it. I do think it's interesting because this was like one of the biggest shows to air on television around the time, and to the point where people still talk about it, and where I still think it holds up in a lot of ways. I wouldn't say that like this is one of the best things I've ever watched,
Wow.
and I've watched a lot of things like this.
It's actually surprising considering how hype it gets.
It does get high. Like I think it's good. Like
No, like the online, it's like The Wire, and it's like,
yeah.
whoa.
Yeah, a lot of people swear by this show that's like the bee's knees, and I'm just like, and the what I think is interesting though is like I don't think this show is for everybody. Like I do think it's interesting because I don't think this show tickles me because like I like law enforcement stuff and I like IT stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So this scratches that itch, but it's really fucking slow. And I feel like a lot of people don't have a lot of attention span. Same thing with oh my god, what's another show that's like really slow? Oh yeah, The Sopranos, which is also on HBO.
Yep, that's another big one.
Yeah, like if you're not into Scorsese, like if you're not into slow burn stuff, like I honestly don't think it'll work. But the plot is good. I don't know. Maybe because it was just really good for the time. Maybe it was like doing something different that like no one else was doing. I don't know. It was still good. If you're into that stuff, I recommend it. That's it.
Cool.
Who watched WandaVision?
That was me. I finished it last night.
Oh
So-
right, you did say you were watching WandaVision.
Yeah. So I finished the last 2 episodes of it. I'm gonna start watching. What was it Agatha All Along? The follow up to it. I'm starting that one next week.
Oh yeah, Leslie really liked that one.
Yeah, the 2 friends I watched this with, they both really loved. They loved Agatha so much they were like, you have to watch this so that we can rewatch Agatha. I'm like, all right, man, let's do it.
Nice.
kind of wish I saw this before Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. It would have given me a little more context.
A lot more context.
Yeah, I kind of watched like the 3-minute what you need to know video on YouTube, and I feel like this definitely would have hit a little bit harder. Overall, very much really love the concept of WandaVision. Ironically enough, I didn't like the last episodes because it stopped being TV and it started just being pure. We are a Marvel CG fight fest.
Yes.
I thought, all right, so hot take. I've been whining about stuff. Just anytime someone flies, it looks bad in this. They just can't make it look natural, unfortunately.
No,
And
you're
then
not
probably
wrong.
the biggest negative I'll give this is listeners spoilers for the last episode of WandaVision. The whole White Vision thing. He unmind wipes him, and then they just don't resolve that plot thread. I believe they're doing another series for it, but to give us absolutely zero resolution to that actual fight within the episode, absolute dog shit. Can't believe they did that.
Yeah.
But overall, very much enjoyed it. It was really good, and it convinced me maybe I should watch more of the like Marvel shows, even though I'm kind of
Nope.
don't. Was this a flash in the pan?
So I honestly think there was only a few that were good, honestly. Like I wouldn't say they're all very good. Like I think Hawkeye was really good.
Is it worth watching Loki?
Didn't actually watch Hawkeye. We watched one episode and we're like, eh.
Really? I thought you would probably like Hawkeye. I thought it was good. Kate Bishop. I think Loki season 1 sucked, but season 2 is really good.
See, we liked season 1, but we never had zero interest in going to season 2.
Damn, I like how season 2 ended. I thought it was actually like pretty hype, and also like I think they did a good job at like I feel like this was their way of pun intended low key ending the whole like Kane the Conqueror thing.
Oh, that makes sense.
Like they're kind of like he's heavily involved in season 2, but like this ending could be interpreted as like there's no more Kane the Conqueror. Like if they wanted to end that line right there, they could have. If they choose to.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah. I'm trying to think
Which
what
they
else
probably
I
will.
watched. Yeah, for Marvel stuff, like yeah, no. I thought those were good. Except for Loki season 2 I thought was good.
Okay.
Yeah. I can't remember what the fuck else came out though. What else came out too?
Oh wait, hold on. Sorry, I'm on the topic of Marvel. The whole reason, sorry, this actually brings up. I'm supposed to talk about 2 other movies on here. Sorry, it was because we were watching WandaVision. We got to the episode where they introduce her brother, but her brother's played by the actor who was in the X-Men prequel movies. Because I hadn't seen anything beyond First Class, like we have to watch Days of Future Past and Apocalypse. So we did that last 2 Saturdays ago. And I will say, Days of Future Past, very good movie. I'm very upset that I wrote it off after not really liking First Class that much. Apocalypse sucked. I didn't like that movie.
Yeah.
Never saw Apocalypse, thankfully.
Yeah, skip it. It very much has. It has. I'm ready to call it the superhero movie problem, where it's they introduce a villain, and we've got to get rid of the villain by the end of this movie. But we also can't have him do anything too significant to rock things. So he shows up. We talk about how powerful he is. He beats up one dude, and that's it. That's the full extent of the power of the villain. But they won't shut up about how strong he is. And we got to stop the world from ending. But the villain does nothing but stands there the whole time. And I feel like I've seen so many superhero movies that do that. And Apocalypse was really, really bad about it. He didn't do jack shit in the whole movie. And he's described as like a world-ending threat that could have killed Thanos.
Damn.
And he just stands there and does nothing.
No way.
But anyway,
Secret Invasion. I really wanted to like Secret Invasion.
I heard it was not very good.
Was it the Nick Fury show?
Yep.
Huh?
Was it the Nick Fury show?
Yeah.
Yeah. I wanted it because I was like looking for. I was like, yo, this is like a Tom Clancy like Marvel thing. That's kind of sick. And watching it just was not good.
Damn.
Yeah, wasn't it? We dropped it pretty quickly.
Gotcha.
What else you got?
All right, I'll move on real quick. 2 weeb shits and then an actual real person show. So I started. Netflix has it. They didn't have it originally at the start of the season. I thought no one was going to grab it, but they grabbed Orb on the Movements of the Earth. And this show is I'm 4 episodes in. I'm ready to say this is the closest we'll get to another Vinland Saga. This is a very serious show about historical events, about people studying the concept of heliocentrism in a time where the church would try to kill anyone who spoke about anything other than the Earth being the center of the universe. It's a very serious show. The opening scene is very much like Inglourious Bastards, where someone is getting interrogated over their beliefs and a torturer comes on, played by the dude who voices oh, shit. Oh my god, Overtime dude on Jujutsu Kaisen Nanami. He's got the voice.
Oh yeah, I know who you're talking
yeah,
about. I can't remember his
yeah.
name.
He's the Punisher in the show, so I love him. But it's overall a very good show, very serious, no anime bullshit. It's very much European influences. Starting with the fourth episode, it looks like it jumps POV characters, and I'm wondering how it's going to go because it seems like there might be several different unrelated POV characters who may come together at some point. But it very much has season one Vinland energy. So I'm pushing my recommendation based on that.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's going to be that interesting. It is a show where it is 90% like dialogue. It is two people in a room talking about stuff or talking about stars, with the threat of the church killing someone or talking about the church killing someone. So it's very much dialogue heavy. So I don't know how entertaining it will be to some people, but I'm very much enjoying it so far. And then on to shows I finished. So ReZero is not doing two separate shows with different cores. They're just taking a 6-week break between the end of episode 8 and when 9 premieres. So it's sort of two cores. They ended on a pretty cool note. I'm gonna give my quick mini review of ReZero season 3. It is back. Very good season. I'm super invested after years of not caring anymore. The way they've handled having all the characters present, having every character have a strong point, but then also being able to keep Subaru in scenarios where it seems like he's helpless. They had to do it very creatively. I know you guys didn't watch season 2, but in season 1 they introduced this character Reinhard. When they elaborate on his abilities more in season 3, he's quite literally the most bustedly strong OP protagonist I've ever seen. Like he's got Rumiru fighting for strongest isekai character in history, and they still managed to create scenarios where him being the strongest character, quite literally from his own power, undefeatable, still is put in situations where he will lose. Shows that it's like the creativity of the writing is good. We don't get this kind of unique setups in isekais anymore, so I'm very much appreciating it.
I mean, we watched like halfway through season 2 Valorant.
I know, and season 2 was
like,
just so bad.
I was like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, season two is a big problem with the franchise. It tried to get too how do I put this? He wanted to play with the time loop concept more aggressively, where he wanted it to be a multi-layered mystery with everything what's the name Rosewall was up to.
Right.
But the problem is each time you go through a layer, it takes so long to get there, I forget what he's learning, what layers, and what stuff he previously thought was facts were actually lies. So by the time he actually gets to the end and he gets his answer and he's told what to do and he says, I'm not going to do that, I'm going to do it the hard way. The whole last loop, I'm like, why the fuck is he doing it the hard way? Like Rosewall told him, say these 3 words and the arc ends, and Super's like, nah, I'm going to do it my way. And my way involves a monologue that's like 2 episodes long and in a burning building. So I still think
saying that I should try season 3 then after, like, try to bustle through season 2 to get to 3.
Yeah, because I like season 3. Season 3 has been all gas, no brakes.
Okay, all right. I'll think about it.
All right. I will say though, season 2 is like kind of a low point. I don't blame you for not wanting to follow through on it. I watched like 2 different 20-minute recap videos of what happened in season 2, and even with a rapid fire recap, I'm like, Jesus Christ, this was bad. This was not a good arc at all. Even explain to me.
Honestly, it was mostly just because like I got confused. Like I liked the first season a lot. It was just like when Val and I got into season 2, we're just like, what the fuck? Like,
yeah,
are we retarded? Like,
no, it's not easy to understand because like there's also like there's this whole storyline of shit that happened 200 years ago, and people are there who are presently alive who shouldn't have been alive 200 years ago, and every time you learn about them, you're like, well, why the fuck were they there? Can you explain it to me? And they don't explain it till the end, and the explanation they give blows. So
great.
Yeah.
Fucking great.
Yeah, season 2 is whatever.
Yeah, I'll give it some thought.
But yeah, that was the only Weeb shit I'm done watching. I was almost ready to give my take on MF Ghost until I realized it's not over and there's still 3 more episodes. But like, I'm ready to tell you right now, MF Ghost is the biggest spoiled member berry I've ever seen. This is just a bad show. Initial D fans should not be watching this.
Yeesh.
I officially dropped that show.
It's shit. In 4 weeks, I'll give a full review about everything it's doing wrong, but it's doing everything wrong. It's not how
Really
you.
depresses me.
They really just need to just do. I want to say remake season 1 of Initial D, but like take what they did with the movies. Don't cut out the Eurobeat. Just reanimate it. Even leave the voice acting the same. I don't care, but like we don't need MF Ghost. It's just stupid.
It sucks too, because like given how the drifting like community is now, there's so many different avenues to take it, and they chose this. Like, I don't even know what you would call like this way of presenting races. It's so not interesting, and it's
Yeah, they kind of
not
the most
fun.
bizarre way to make a Toyota 86 compete with supercars to the point where it's like, I'll just say it, they had one race where it was in the rain, and the rain was just his key to victory. Because like everyone else has to drive slowly because there are these big fat muscle cars, they can't do anything. But because I can now drift even better, I'm the only car in the lineup equipped to drift this course, so I will dominate. And he gets like, spoiler, he gets like 5th place.
Mm.
But it's like they created these very, very niche scenarios where he could win, and then it's like almost not entertaining to watch.
Well, what's worse is too, they make these like interesting. Remember that one episode like in the first season where it's like, oh, are we about to have a fucking like unauthorized, like unsanctioned like street race right now? And
Yeah,
like they play it up like they're gonna do that, and then they just don't. I'm like, okay, so you guys know exactly what we want. You're just being assholes about it.
yeah.
And you want to give us this weird Leonardo DiCaprio pedophile guy.
Dude, it's even worse. He finished a race and like he's walking to his car after. He's like, I don't know what it is about racing MF Ghost, but I just get so turned on afterwards. I hope I see that one high school girl I was seeing soon. And
Oh
I'm like,
my
good lord,
god.
like why'd you get so creepy about it? And then, all right, so you know the guy who he's kind of the friend. And he drives the Nissan.
Yes.
So he goes up to the pedophile dude. And he's like, "Hey man, stay away from Angel number 7. She's mine. I know." And he's like, "I didn't think you'd go after her, but like, I know you're into younger girls, but she's not that young." And the pedo dude is like, "You don't think she's that young? I know exactly how old she is. She's definitely 17 to 18, and here's why." And he gives the most creepiest
What
explanation
the
about
fuck?
her complexion, the way she carries herself. And it's like, just good lord, like he was already creepy, and now they're making it worse. Like they're not even trying to portray him as a villain. Is the weirdest part.
Ugh.
Like they're just portraying him just a dude who likes 17-year-olds, and it's weird.
I hate it. I hate it here.
Yeah, this show sucks. Don't watch MF Ghost.
Yeah,
Don't watch
I'm
MF
good.
Ghost. Moral of the story.
I'm
Yeah.
straight.
And then the last one I put on here, my brother was getting mad at me. He's like, "You're not watching any real television." So he throws on the first episode of Succession on HBO, and I fell in love. I ended up sitting there watching 1 and 2 back to back. Very cool show. Episode 1 very much was a pilot, and Tim, I was complaining on Sunday, but like they were like trying to do office style camera work in a not comedic show, and it straight up did not work in episode 1.
Weird.
But they didn't do it as much in episode 2. I'm definitely gonna follow through in the show. This is very good. I don't know if you want me to like spoil any of the plot of it, but long story short, it's this family. Their father's like the CEO of what's effectively Disney, and they're going through trying to figure out who's going to take over the company when he inevitably passes away. And then at the end of episode 1, like he has a medical issue in the company, and everyone has to decide, okay, what are we doing about this company? And it's very much like cutthroat politics. There's a cousin who shows up who's not involved in it, who's like the outsider looking in. Um, Overall, interesting stuff. I really like it. What's his name? Not Macaulay Culkin, his sibling.
Oh, Kieran.
Kieran Culkin. He's in it, and he's very good in this show. So I'm very much rooting for him, even though they go out of their way to show you he's a huge asshole in episode 1. So
Nice.
all in all, good show. I need to watch more like actually critically acclaimed live action stuff and not these shitty cartoons about pedos and race cars.
Mini art cartoons. Fucking pedos. God
Yeah, that's
damn
all.
it.
That's all I want to say about Succession.
All right. Well, I had no games or anything watched that I finished in the last 2 weeks, so
Right.
You didn't
nothing
finish
to
season
add.
17 of Blippi, Tim?
Right.
No, amazingly not.
I forgot that I finished Arcane season 2, but I'm not gonna talk about it until you guys finish it.
Yeah.
I finished batch 2 yesterday.
Okay.
All right,
So
so
I'm
so next podcast I'll walk away for 10 minutes so you guys can talk about it because who knows when
Damn.
I'll get to watch
Yeah,
it.
I'm
So,
I'm definitely gonna finish batch 3 before the next recording.
yeah, so you guys will be able to talk about it, and I'll walk away and go, and you guys can text me when to come back so that you guys can talk about it, but I don't have
Wait,
to
Tim,
hear
how
it.
far in are you?
Leslie and I have still only watched 2 episodes.
Are you watching it with Leslie?
She asked me to.
Can you rewatch it with Leslie?
Yeah.
No, because I'm actually watching the live-action One Piece on my own as a show to watch by myself.
Oh.
How much more do you have to it? Like, are
I've
you gonna be
watched-
finished by the next episode?
No, I've watched. Well,
Yeah, what do you got? What do you think of
depends.
it?
It's because I'm traveling, so I don't know. Because I'm gonna have 4. I've watched 4 of the episodes so far, so
We talked about that here, right?
it's actually quite good.
Right?
I'm actually
we
kind
talked
of
about it.
shocked how
Yeah.
impressively good this is.
Right? Isn't it weird?
There's definitely a few parts where I've had to fast forward, and I'm like, okay, this is about to be so painfully painful to watch.
Yeah.
Like,
But
I'm
it's
not gonna watch
crazy-
this, but I'm kind of amazed at how good this is. Like, this is what all live action anime kind of aspires to be, I think.
I agree.
And
And you don't hear that shit from me. You know, I go into live action adaptations typically like generally like.
No, I do
negatively.
too. But I was like, you know what? I not to bring it up again. My Mother's Basement had a video where for like an hour where he talked about how this was a great adaptation, and I was like, okay, you know what? I'm kind of bored. I want to watch. It was while I was off 2 weeks ago, where I was like, I'll try it, and I was pleasantly entertained by episode 1, and I'm kind of interested in where it's all going. So, and I'm almost more interested because of how long One Piece is. That I'm like, well, I know this is going to go somewhere, so I'll see where it's gonna go eventually.
Mhm.
Like, it makes me more interested instead of it just be like, I guess part of it is like, we have so many stories these days that are like, ooh, it's the very beginning of the expanded cinematic universe kind of thing. And I'm like, oh, this is a thing that is popular, is supposed to be good, and I can just enjoy it because I know that more will exist or does exist, instead of being like, well, maybe this plot line will just be dropped forever kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like you were just talking about the Vision thing, Freeman. Like, oh, White Vision does show back up again. It might be next season, but he will. I know he will. So cool. I'll keep watching. But anyway, we're going to stop there because that was...
It's always long. It always goes long. Whatever.
40
whatever.
minutes of just watched and played off of 7 things from you guys. So
It's relatively short given our usual runtime.
yeah, usually that list is like 3 times longer. But we should have one more episode looking ahead. We could do one on the day before New Year's, but I think we're going to be busy on New Year's Eve. So this is probably the last episode, the second to last episode of the year. So next episode, we'll probably do our best of the year.
Yeah.
Dang, I've only beaten like 2 games this year.
Damn, I've beaten like no new games this year.
I've
so
only been like 10.
50. But until then, come back and see what we thought our best things of the year were, because it's not just video games, because Top Freeman and I haven't played many. But until next time, my name is Timpedia.
I'm Friedman.
Stephen King.
And we'll catch you guys next time. Thanks for listening.